Card.
Here.
Mr. Connos.
Here.
Thank you. Reverend Bob, it's nice to see you this evening.
Good to be with you. I invite the folks here to stand as you're able and join me in this invocation. God of all creation, we give you thanks for the blessing of this day. We pray we have used it as the gift you intended it to be, and we hope that we have been a blessing to others through our work or our rest or our play. Now we focus our attention on the work of our city and our commissioners and mayor. Grant to them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times. Grant them a sense of the welfare and true needs of our citizens and a keen thirst for justice and rightness. Give them confidence in what is good and fitting and the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement. Most of all, bestow upon them a personal peace in their lives and joy in this particular task. I pray for their agenda that is set before them tonight. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Daytona Beach Shores. For it is in your most blessed name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. And everyone, we have a special honor today. May I have Tara Mahoney come forward, please? Tara? Thank you so much. Tara is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You get us started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Tara. We appreciate it. And that's going to take us right into this. I just want to tell you what an honor it is, Longstreet, to have you here. I think this is the third time you've come here, and we love it every single time. And today, I think we're going to have some awards. We know now who did the best of the artwork. And when we get to one that I chose, and I have it on the front of my car and on my keychain, I'll let you know who it is when we get to that spot. So let's go down and start to give the awards. We will call your name, and please come up as we call your name.
Nancy, you want us like before?
Down. Remember last time we didn't stay far enough down. We got in trouble.
Farther down?
Further?
They gotta be centered or on the live stream or not. The kids don't get seen on live stream, so we've got
What do you want?
it centered in the room here.
Couple on this.
Okay, it's okay if I stand on this side with this? Yes, Mike, and then, all right, and then,
Gonna dance around the stand, I guess?
I'll move it here.
okay, I guess, change of plan.
Or do you want me to call them?
I'll call him.
Already not working?
Let me get this settled here, and then Chris, can you open them as we get to them? So, we'll get this together in a minute. Okay, first of all, we have Alex Hartwell. Alex? Okay, so I want to let you know that Alex did the artwork Sunset in a Forest. It was one of the winners. And Chris will give you your award.
Congratulations.
Commissioner Economos will hand you your award. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Next, we have Is Nathaniel here? Okay.
The only one checked.
Oh, they checked, okay. Anna Baron Rivera. Okay, Anna is the one that I chose. So Anna, right now, if you see my car, I am on my car, in the front of my car, my keychain, is your butterfly book. Thank you for doing such a beautiful job. And I have a red car, and you had some red in there, so it matches perfectly. Okay, next we're going to go to Jenna Hall. Okay, Jenna, you have the honor so that when they brought those that day, the director and I both chose your Sunrise with Rainbow Plate, Sunrise Ocean. This was the mayor's choice.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Cheer real fast. I think they want to shake your hands as well.
Congratulations.
Good job, thank you.
Good job.
Okay, next we have Peyton Middleton. Congratulations, Peyton.
Congratulations. There you
Next we have Bradley Brown. Congratulations, Bradley. Good work.
go. Congratulations. And that is yours.
Okay, next we have Gracie Berry. Wow, Gracie's popular. Congratulations, Gracie.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There you go. That is for you.
Helena Taylor. Oh my, what a beautiful dress. You can start right here. Everyone wants to shake your hand. Congratulations.
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 And that is for you.
Tara that did my beautiful Pledge of Allegiance. Tara, can you come back up again? Good job on the pledge. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Stay up front.
Jackson Easterwood.
Congratulations, Jackson.
Great job, Jackson. Thank you.
Congratulations. There you go.
Mia Turner.
Congratulations, Mia.
Congratulations, Mia. Great job. You'll get your award from the commissioner here.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah. And next, Long Wen. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And Jet Morgan. And I think I forgot one. I skipped over it. Congratulations. And I'm so sorry, I skipped over Riley Lindsay. Riley, I'm sorry, we saved the best for last.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
And the beautiful teacher that you do so much for them. Thank you for everything you do. We love the artwork. You put Eternity Shores on the map every time I go to a function, and that we have Will Roberts there. He always says, okay, they supported Challenge On.
Yes, great.
They do.
We're going to take a picture.
Take it real
Kids,
quick.
come on up.
Come on, guys. There you go. Can't see. On both sides.
Kids, come on in.
You, Mr. Biggs? Mr. Biggs' friend.
He was, they would remember you. Sure.
Just around. Come on in.
Talk about that.
So I can see you.
So do you want him up front?
Because I gotta put him right here. So you can come over here with me here.
Wow,
That would be
great.
great.
You two switch.
Then I can see. No, you two switch.
Oh, open up your.
Oh, you're fine. Right. Close then, so I can see you.
Thank you, everybody. Sarah, great job on the place.
Did have Mr. Biggs. Jen had Mr. Biggs for kindergarten. Now they're in fifth grade.
You're right, he would have. I think he has time.
Sorry, I'm not missed your.
Longstreet, thank you again for being here. We always enjoy having you. Need a couple minutes to get started.
Oh, yes. You just never know.
Some hand sanitizer.
Oh, is there some?
There's some in the
Me
back.
too, and I was
Shaking all of those kids' hands.
every handshake I got. My wife has trained me now.
No. Your wife was as well, so you.
Oh, she. I mean, my wife will say dirty words if you go by her and sneeze. She'll.
Sorry, James, but apparently you cleared the room.
Including the majority of the capacity.
Hand sanitizer.
That time of the year.
We understand that.
Well, we thinned out. Well, thanks for those that are remaining. So next, we are going to go on to our audit presentation from James Moore and Company.
Good evening, everyone. James Halloran here with James Moore and Company. Happy to present your audit. Not as exciting as the kids' stuff.
I was going to say, try following that act.
It advanced for him earlier when he hit the little button. There we go. Okay, I can use the mouse. Mouse will work. There we go. So as always, happy to present your audit. It's for the year ended September 30th, 2024. And just as a reminder, you know, as an auditor, we audit the financial statements, provide an opinion on the financial statements. We're not allowed to be part of management and therefore not part of your internal control structure. So that's always important. Remember, there's that independent side that we have as CPAs, as opposed to other professions can be a little bit more advisory in their nature.
And James, last time I remembered, I think someone called me and interviewed some of us. Do you not do that? Or did you change who you called?
Yeah, we do different,
Can you hear?
different members, different years.
Okay, all right.
We do like an interview at the beginning, different fraud interviews. We ask like fraud questions or concerns you might have.
Close to it.
Can the back row here, oh, isn't it here?
There we go.
That's what they get for sitting in the back. There's a lot of seats up front here if everyone would like to come up.
It's kind of like church, you know, no one wants to sit. No one wants to sit in the
Back row moves
front.
up, you'd hear fine.
Is that better? I don't hear
No,
it.
I don't think it is.
How's that?
That's
All right, now we got it figured out. All righty. So as always, you know, we have our opinion on your financial statements, which is an unmodified opinion, which that's the best opinion we can give as independent certified public
Wait a
accountants.
minute.
Still not working.
So now it went off, oh, the light went off again. See if that one works better. Gotta get the Energizer battery.
All right, are we good now? All right, my back row says you're fine.
I'm good for now. Was that all just a ploy to get them to move up front?
It didn't work, so.
They didn't move, they didn't do anything. We also are under government auditing standards, so that requires us to look at your internal control over financial reporting as well as compliance. We're happy to report no material weaknesses in internal control, but we did have one finding. It's considered a significant deficiency, which is one level below material weakness. And it related to reconciliation of account balances, specifically to a missed accrued expense at the end of the year in the sewer fund. So we do have that one finding this year. You'll see in the back is their management's response to that finding as well. No instances of non-compliance to report. We do have the management letter that's required by the Florida Auditor General. We have no recommendations in there that are required to be reported. We also are required by them to look at financial condition assessment. They have a methodology we use, and you guys are fine with that. If you had deteriorating financial conditions, we'd have to report that. Of course, you guys don't have any of those as well. We also have to look at the Florida investment statutes. And we look at the investment statute to compare it to your policies and to make sure you're in compliance with your policies and the Florida statutes. And we have no findings related to that as well. So congratulations there. A little bit on the numbers. When we look at your general fund over the past 3 years, you know, the total fund balance at year end is $23,921. And you look at it in previous years, just about the same. But the big thing is, what are those different buckets, right? So this is your equity that's remaining at the end of the year. And when you look at that, the restricted, that's your road improvement money. That comes from gas taxes. So those have restrictions on what you can spend that money for. So you can't just spend it on, you can't spend it on, artwork from the kids. You can't do that, unfortunately. Assigned fund balance, that's the amount of your budget you're carrying forward to the next year. You're saying, okay, in order to balance our budget the next year, you're taking $4.6 million roughly and using that to balance. And then the remaining is unassigned, so that's what you have left over at year end. And we'll kind of go into a little more detail on that. So one thing to look at is you say, what's that fund balance, the unassigned fund balance, when you compare it to your total expenditures for a year? So you're close to $16 million in total expenditures. So you're at about 110%, so more than 1 year in fund balance you currently have residing, which some people go, is that enough? Is it too much? And that's a question every commission has. You do have your fund balance policy there, so you're in compliance with your fund balance policy as well. But I always say smaller cities, the smaller you are, and the closer you are to the coast, unfortunately, or to hurricane-prone areas, that's usually where you want to have a little bit more set aside, because we all know FEMA helps you, but they don't pay as quickly as we would like. When you do debris removal and other things like that, you'll expend all those funds, and then you wait for the money back from the federal government. And then in some cases, in prior years, in prior storms, that's taken up to 5 to 10 years for some of my clients to get fully reimbursed from FEMA. Never as quick as we like. And then the last point there is a new one. And kind of brought it up because everyone's been talking about property taxes. And when you look at Daytona Beach Shores and you say, what percentage is your property tax fund, say your governmental activity, which is primarily your general fund? And it's 57%, right? So that's a large number, when you're thinking about it. You guys are a little bit different than some other cities. Primary residential, so that affects you more than, say, if you had a mixture of commercial, not commercial, and your mixture of just homestead to non-homestead affects you as well. So that's just something to consider when all those proposals are out there, to know what that number is. Some of your other governmental funds, you do have an amount that's restricted for contraband and forfeitures. That's through the police department, and state statute sets what they can expend those monies on. Not a lot of activity for the year. They spent a little bit, so it just decreased about $2,000. New for cash and investments, you guys invested in some U.S. Treasury notes. So you guys have those balances now, close to $27 million in Treasury notes. And with that, you generate about $1.6 million of investment income. So in the prior year, you were about 1.1, so up about $500,000 in your investment income, for the year. Those are all held in, you have a portfolio there of different maturities over time, so they're constantly being replaced as those maturities come due. Really, from a liability standpoint, the only things you guys have out there from your governmental fund side is the leases. So you have some leases for buildings, and I mean, not buildings, it's equipment, and then also subscription-based IT arrangements, which is your financial software side. So your business type fund is your sewer fund, right? So that's your primary fund there. And we'll look at that equity of that fund. You got some that's invested back in your capital assets, so about $3.8 million. A little bit of restricted, that's basically impact fees you've collected that haven't been spent yet, and then your remaining balance of close to $12.2 million. So you guys are all aware of, you got a big project coming up, you got some funding help from the state, which is always great. So there's going to be a little bit as well that you'll have to kick into. So that's a good amount to have sitting there to $12 million to kind of help buffer that, as you go forward with this project in the next couple of years. I always got to ask about pensions. You guys are on the Florida retirement system, so FRS is the terminology you see there, and HIS is health insurance subsidy. That's another portion of the Florida retirement system. Basically provides a stipend for health insurance each year to retired employees. The regular defined benefit plan is funded through a trust fund. The health insurance subsidy is not. It's a pay-as-you-go plan, so that's the differences you'll see there. So, over the last couple of years, that liability fluctuates pretty close to the last couple of years. A lot of it's, at year-end, really depend on what the investment market's doing. So if the investment market is really high, that liability could drop a lot. If it's really low, it can fall down. And then percent funded stayed pretty well. You're in about 80% is what the state's plan's been at the last couple of years, and you can see the difference between the funded retirement system plan, about 83%, compared to health insurance. It's not funded, it's just pay as you go, it's only funded 4%. To the right there is those contributions. So you're paying, say for a general employee, about 14% of each payroll dollar goes into their retirement, where public safety is higher at 33%. That's because public safety have different rules for when they can retire in service and stuff like that. So they can retire quicker typically than a general employee can. So you have to put a little bit more aside to get that funded. We do expect, this is your third year of submitting for the certificate of financial reporting, and we do expect you're going to receive that again this year. So in the past, you had received this award for a number of years. You had about a decade or so where you didn't. So with Lori, Lori's team and Kurt's assistance, I assume you got. I'm hoping you guys get this again. I don't see any reason why you would not get it. And this is from the Government Finance Officers Association. So a team of internal people at the GFOA reviews it, and also they send it out to external reviewers. Myself and another partner firm, we both do that as well. But we usually get from someone in New Mexico or something like that. Usually we don't get anything in the Southeast even to look at. So congratulations there.
Congratulations, Director and team. And we did give them a proclamation.
Was it last week with financial professionals, or the week before?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, with financial professionals week. That's all I have, but as always, open to questions or anything you guys might want to ask.
So you would say we have a pretty healthy reserve fund
Yeah.
for cities this size?
For a city your size, but that can go pretty quick. But you got 100K, it's going to go quick. And I always, warn construction projects, you never know what's going to happen. By the time you bid them out, and there's always change orders, so for that too, you always got to have a little bit of buffer set aside.
Any questions for Mr. Harlow? On the audit?
Madam Mayor?
Vice Mayor?
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for the report. It's a lot to consume and digest and process, but I'm going to take a peek at it. But I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend that we, as a commission, rely on for okay, we're healthy now, but let's say something happens here or we have a bad storm, are we going to be okay? We have a lot of things that we have paid for with no debt, and that's a good thing, but it also could be a problem later on. And, do we sit down with the finance department and kind of get a State of the Union address, or is it something that your firm would participate in?
Yeah, I think you guys are set up pretty well. That's why you have that fund balance policy.
Yeah.
That was in there. That was set up specifically to make sure you didn't drop that balance too low. But if there's other priorities, you, as a commission, you guys can set what those are. There's other things you want to set aside and say, hey, let's think about, catastrophic event, do you think we have enough? But that's something I would say get with Lori and Kurt on, and they can work. And if they need to bring me in, I'm more than happy to help with that as well.
Great.
But you guys are in a much better position than if it was a lot lower,
Oh, well, of course.
So that's not as much fun. I have some cities like that right now.
Well, I would appreciate you coming in. Any last-minute questions? I think you did a great overview. Again, we'll look into this and we'll get with our director if there's any other questions, but thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a moment, please. Chris? I'll carry on. I do have a paper copy, but if you... Thank you. Thank you. We're next going to go on to the approval of the minutes. So we had 2 meetings last month. We had a city commission workshop. The minutes are attached from March 4th, 2025. Do you have a motion to accept those minutes?
Also move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes from our workshop? Not, Sherry? And there's 4 of us this evening, and this passed 4-0. Thank you. Next, we're going to go on to the City Commission minutes of March 4th. Do I hear a motion to accept the regular meeting?
I so move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I don't see any speakers on that, so Sherry, can you take a roll on that, please? And that passed 4-0. Thank you. Next, we're going to go on to the consent agenda. We have 3 items on the consent agenda. Is there any of those items that we need pulled before we get an approval? We don't see any speakers, so do I hear a motion on the consent agenda to accept the 3 items?
I so move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion, Sherry, will you take a roll, please? And that also passed 4-0. Thank you. Next, we're going to go on to old business, and this is ordinance 2025-03, voluntary annexation at 3836 South Atlantic Avenue. Turner Voice, can you read that for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. This is ordinance number 2025-03, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, relating to voluntary annexation of real property located at 3836 South Atlantic Avenue, tax parcel identification number 630205070190, together with associated rights-of-way in accordance with Section 171.044 Florida statutes, providing for legislative and administrative findings, redefining the boundaries of the city, providing for legal effect and implementing administrative actions, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and setting an effective date.
Thank you, Attorney. We have our city planner. All right, so this is a second reading. It came up before us last time. Is the applicant here?
Not this evening.
Okay, thank you.
They are hoping to meet you at some point. I think they have plans to attend the Planning and Zoning Board should this pass tonight. Planning and Zoning will hear the rezone and the future land use map amendment on the 14th of this month, and they do have plans to be there. And I told them you'd really like to meet them.
Yes, I would. Thank you. If you can tell us a little bit more about this, if we can go over it again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. I'm Gwen Herstein, City Planner for Daytona Beach Shores. This is the second reading of this ordinance for voluntary annexation from Volusia County into the city. The property owners, Samuel and Janelle Coughing, as stated, not here this evening, but they do send their appreciation. The current land use is single-family residential and is also the proposed land use. This is a street view of the recently built home and a location map of the property, which is near the south end of our city. All requirements of the Florida statutes have been met. Staff is recommending approval of this ordinance.
Thank you. Gwen, can you go back to the map again, please?
Absolutely.
So right there, is the light green, everyone is already in Daytona Beach Shores?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
they were surrounded by Daytona
Yes,
Beach Shores, okay.
an enclave unto themselves, yes.
Okay, great, okay, thank you, that's all. Do we have any questions for Ms. Herstein? Okay, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak about ordinance 2025-03? Okay, seeing no one, do I hear a motion to approve ordinance 2025-03?
I so move.
Thank you, second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If not, and there's no question, Sherry, take a roll, please. And this passes 4-0. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go on to the new business section. So this is ordinance 2025-06. Attorney Royce, can you read that for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this is ordinance number 2025-06, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Florida, relating to the dates of the elections to replace a commission member for a vacated city commission seat, providing for an amendment to the City of Daytona Beach Shores City Charter with regard to the filling of vacancies in office and establishing election dates, providing for legislative and administrative findings, revising the timing of interim appointments of city commission members to provide for the orderly transition of office, providing for implementing administrative actions and responsibility for implementation, providing for a savings provision, providing for codification as well as the correction of scrivener's errors, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Attorney. I'm sorry, we're having a little bit of computer errors this evening.
Computer ain't in there, I'm the error.
Okay, while we're waiting for that to come up, is there anyone that is going to be speaking on this, what this is about? Attorney, would you be doing that to give us a little bit more background? Chris?
Sure, I can do that. After evaluation by city staff as to prudent expenditures of public funds, the importance of clarity concerning election dates and the processes giving rise thereto, and the City Commission's transition to holding one regular meeting per month, and the needs of the city, as well as the general requirements pertaining to the administration and implementation of election, have resulted in the conclusion that it would be beneficial and in the public interest to amend the provisions of the city charter relative to changing the dates for qualifying and for the election of members of the city commission when vacancies occur, and providing for the orderly transition of offices resulting from those changes. And the same city charter provision had previously been amended by ordinance in 2015. And when we changed from meetings twice a month to once a month, it became clear that the way the ordinance, or the way the 2015 ordinance would be implemented would require action by the city commission within 30 days of an announcement of a vacancy. And because we're only having one meeting a month, that didn't work anymore. So we went ahead and revised the city charter provision. And it is somewhat unusual under Florida law elections information in charters are about the only thing you can change by ordinance, but that is specifically permitted.
And so what is our next step in this vacated seat? Next month?
Well, this is the first reading of this ordinance.
All right, so we'll look at the second reading.
Right.
This is the first reading of ordinance 2025-06. Is there anyone in the audience that has any comments? Okay, seeing none, do I hear a motion to accept ordinance 2025-06?
I so move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or any questions for our attorney? Did I skip something?
You have a speaker.
Oh, I have a speaker, I'm sorry.
I want to modify it so that way we know to put it on the agenda for that next meeting, so that way it's an automatic agenda item. So I'll move to approve the resolution with an understanding that we'll put it on the April 22nd, you said?
Right now, we have a workshop scheduled for the 22nd, and in order to fill the vacancy, I'd like to go ahead and schedule that as a regular meeting at the same, beginning at the same time as our workshop. I don't believe we're going to need the full 2 hours for the workshop. So we had it scheduled from 11:30 to roughly 1:30, so we could hear this then.
Get the vacancy filled sooner than later. So as amended, I apologize.
Okay, so is the motion amended? Do I hear a second on the amended motion from our vice mayor?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion or any clarification on what we're doing? Okay, if not, Sherry, can you put the roll up now? Thank you for noticing the speaker.
I apologize and help you.
Okay, and this passed 4-0, thank you. Next, we're going to go on to Resolution 2025-03. This is approval to accept funds from the opioid funding program. Attorney Voice, can you read that for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this is Resolution 2025-03, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute an opioid abatement funding program agreement with Volusia County and approving the acceptance of funds from the opioid abatement funding program for the purchase of automatic external defibrillators and providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
Actually, Madam Mayor, let's see. I might be mistaken. I thought that was a different, actually, resolution number, but I'm probably mistaken, so I apologize.
That's all right. So we're on 2025-03. The opioid, is that the one you read for us?
Yes, it is.
You okay?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I just, for some reason, I thought it was 06, so I apologize.
All right, that's fine. Keep me on track. All right, Director?
Yes, Mike Fowler, Director of Public Safety, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. As you are all aware, the Commission voted and authorized our agreement into the opioid settlement funding. This is the second iteration of funding from that. This is the group that we put Reverend Bob on the committee, and he has worked with us on this funding. The county has approved $50,000 for the purchase of 25 AEDs and associated equipment. This is a reimbursement. The city would spend the money first and be fully reimbursed. There's no shared costs with this, and the only ongoing costs are that's with every AED, and eventually we'll have to replace batteries and pads. This is another step in our strategy to put more AEDs into the community. As I'm sure some of you are aware, we have been doing ongoing training not only with our citizens, both in the condos and here at the community center, but we've also engaged in training with our city employees, not just our public safety folks anymore, but actually our general employees also. This will allow us to put more AEDs into the city buildings, into the city parks, And something we're very excited about is we're putting them into some of the civilian employees' work vehicles. They've had a few incidents, cardiac-related incidents on the job, and we're excited to be able to give them this equipment and training. AEDs, a cardiac arrest generally has very low survivability. AEDs, studies have found, raise that survivability to almost 50%. It is the single most important intervention should there be a cardiac arrest.
Thank you. So with the purchase of these, how many will we totally have in the city?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Based upon the amount that we currently have, it'll be close to 40.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions for our chief? Well, thank you very much. Again, I'm very, very happy that we got Reverend Bob. What a wonderful representative of our city, and I understand his alternate is Reverend Melissa. How can we get better than that? But thank you, Chief. We appreciate it. Okay, so do I hear a motion to accept Resolution 2025-03?
Also move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
And I don't see any speakers on this, so Sherry, can you take a roll, please? This passes 4-0. Thank you. All right, so we are going to go on now to a budget amendment. So this is Resolution 2025-04, Budget Amendment. Attorney Boyce, can you read that for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this is Resolution 2025-04, a resolution of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, amending the General Fund and Capital Improvement Fund fiscal year 2024-2025 budget for the replacement of 2 public safety vehicles for $123,000 from the General Fund reserves, providing for appropriations, providing an effective date.
Thank you. And Director, even though these accidents were not our fault, are you going to tell us a little bit about each of the vehicles? Or go ahead with your presentation, I'm sorry.
Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, well, as you already put out there, yes, there were some incidents that have happened in the last several weeks that have caused damage to our current vehicles. And with that, our fleet is below normal. And we need to purchase vehicles where we wouldn't have had to for another couple of years. We do it annually, but we need to actually purchase these vehicles now because there is like a lead time for that.
Okay, and then I understand too, just as long with our private vehicles, my vehicle, if I go, even though insurance would pay for it, it's at a replacement cost, so I'm not going to get enough money to buy a brand new vehicle. So what is the net result? Do we know yet how much we will be out of pocket for these accidents?
Right now, we do not. We have one of them that, yes, we know we are getting $22,000 and some change for.
Okay, yeah, that still leaves.
We're still waiting for everything else to get back with the claims. But because of the need for these vehicles, we need to get them ordered right away.
Okay, great. Do we have any questions for our director? Okay, seeing none, do I hear a motion to accept Resolution 2025-04 Budget Amendment?
I so move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, if not, Sherry? Okay, and this one passed 4-0. Thank you. Okay, so next we're going to go on to, we have put Commissioner Economos on our TPO, and so he came forward last month and said that there's an appointment for a TPO Citizens Advisory Committee. On that particular Citizens Advisory Committee, we did get 5 applicants, so we are very, very happy to have that. It warms my heart to see how people get interested in things that are happening in Daytona Beach Shores. So, Commissioner, I'm going to turn it over to you. Was it? I know you talked to them. you go ahead and take it over now, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I did have the opportunity to speak to 4 of the candidates. There was another candidate who we kind of played phone tag a couple times, but I know she is very interested in as well. But I've got to say, I was very happy and pleased that everyone I spoke to was highly qualified and has a passion for the city and really wants to serve. So that was just so nice to see that. And so I did have a chance to talk to them. I spoke to a few of them before the meeting again as well, just to reaffirm their interest, and they are very interested. I know there's several that are here now, and so it's a tough thing. Normally what we would do is there is a Citizens Advisory Committee and a Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. So typically what we would do is we would point a primary person to be on both of those boards and then an alternate for each one. But because we have very interested and qualified individuals, what I would propose doing is basically having 6-month terms. So whoever's on the BPAC and the CAC would sit for 6 months. You would have an alternate behind them, but then you would have an alternate behind them as well. So to give everybody a chance. I know there's some potential drawbacks to that. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get your feet under you to really figure out what's going on. But I've been to 2 of the TPO meetings. I have not been to a CAC or a BPAC meeting yet, but I have been to the TPO board meetings, and they're very well run. Their agendas provided for you. These individuals who are the primary would get to vote, but my understanding it would be, you wouldn't be selected individually to do anything. It's pretty much, I think, a vote en masse. But again, you don't have to go along with anybody. You could do what you want. But you would also provide recommendations to the TPO board as well on behalf of the city. So what I would propose is we nominate individuals to be the primary for the CAC and the BPAC, 2 alternates, and then 2 alternates behind them for 6 months. Obviously, what is required, and I did speak to the individuals about this, that you do have to be a resident of Daytona Beach Shores. If that were to change, then that would obviously disqualify a person. So what we would ask is that they stay in touch with our city clerk, Sherry, if that's okay with Sherry. And she's familiar with most of these folks, I believe, has spoken to them personally as well. And then update, if anybody were to move, then they would obviously have to update and they would be disqualified. But also, not to put too much more on Sherry's plate, but to kind of keep an eye on the 6-month, and then contact the alternate, contact the primary that they would be switching, and then the other secondary alternate would move up. After everybody switches, then the person that was on the CAC could eventually go to the BPAC so they can get a well-rounded experience. So that's just my proposal. I've explained to everybody that we have sunshine laws, so I am not permitted to talk to any commissioners about this unless we are up here in the public. So I don't know what they are going to say. They may say, Chris, that's just a dumb idea. I don't want to do that. Which is fine if they do, but we can talk about it, and I would basically just like to ask each of my fellow commissioners what your opinions are.
So Chris, I think it's a great idea. I like that you put one person up and that you had the alternate, and you kind of alluded to exactly what I was going to say too. I know from all the boards that I'm on, I know coming up here too, it takes a while to ramp up to feel comfortable. I was on the TPO for 2 years, and it took a while to get accustomed. And I see we don't have a meeting in July or December, so it actually would only be 5 months. I really don't think that's enough time to ramp up. So I like everything about your idea, but I would want to change it to a year, which actually would only be 10 months. And that's my idea, but I'll go along with what anyone else has. Commissioner Card?
I think I'll listen to Chris's suggestion. I think you've done the work on this, and I think you have a better grasp of it than I do. I don't know that much about it, so I'm going to take your lead on it.
I do have trust and confidence in Chris. I think your suggestion is great. I've never sat on these individual committees. Of course, I sat on the TPO. I don't know how complicated their agenda is. It may not be a big deal. It may not need a lot of ramping up, but whichever you guys want to do, I'm fine, I'll support it.
Again, like I just said, you know, this is something brand new that none of us have been on, and they don't have the experience either. You know, just the first time, you know, just absorbing anything, and then really you only have four more meetings.
Sure.
And then yours, so, but, you know, I'll go along with anything. Sherry, if we change them every 6 months, is that more work for you, or more, okay, all right. I just want to make sure that they feel comfortable, because, or maybe I'll look at it the first time, because the way I look at it right now, will the alternate be attending the meeting?
That's a very good question. So the alternate would not attend the meetings unless the primary person is not able to be there. So again, I don't want to be, and again, this is kind of up for discussion, I don't want to be in a position to where we force the primary and the alternate to exchange contact information. So we could, again, have Sherry handle that, and the primary can say, hey, Sherry, I cannot be here at this meeting, and then Sherry can contact the alternate. So, but whatever they want to do is fine. If they want to get together and talk about that, that's fine as well.
The only thing I was thinking of was our alternates for P and Z do sit there so they know what's going on. So in essence, again, you know, that's why I would rather have a year, because in essence, we're going to have a brand-new person every 5 months, you know, just, so I was thinking maybe the first person for a year, and if the second person was listening to what was happening, then I could approve it for 6 months. But basically now we're going, you know, again, you know, you're only going to be at 5 meetings.
Now, again, I did speak to Melanie at the TPO, and we pretty much have wide discretion on what we want to do. So again, I have not been to either one of those meetings before, but I know the TPO meetings, the public is allowed to actually come and sit. So I would be surprised if the alternate couldn't just go and observe. They could not vote, but so I could find that out as well. But because of the TPO meetings, I know there are members of the public that can sit there. Now, again, they can't speak, and you know, they can't ask questions, that type of thing, but they are allowed to be there and observe. So I would assume the BPAC and the CAC is the same way, but again, I don't know for sure.
Yes, City Manager?
The attorney has a question.
Yes.
Yes, okay, Sherry just showed me these rules, and it says one alternate may be appointed for each CAC position. Alternates must be appointed by the TPO board member in writing and may participate in the meeting and vote only in the absence of the primary member.
Right.
So they can actually go to the meeting and participate.
Okay. So with that, thank you, Attorney. So that being said, my proposal changed a little bit. I would like to start out with the first person being there for a year or 10 months, and then 6 months alternating, because if they're there, they'll get the gist of what's happening, you know, not have to go into it cold turkey. So thank you very much. That changes how I feel about that. I don't know if that changes your opinion, or do you still think 5 months and then?
And I really just feel if Chris has done the work on it, that he'll know, but I'm good with either way.
Madam Attorney, I did see the bylaws, so, but again, that doesn't prohibit the alternate from attending.
It does not prohibit the
So
alternate.
they could attend.
So they can attend and they can actually participate, but they can't vote.
Okay.
So they can probably all just get very acclimated to it.
Okay, I mean, that's, you know, I'll go along with that, everything, but, you know, again, I just know from all the boards we're on, and, you know, you probably know this too, it takes a while to get acclimated to something, and I know when I do something, I want to do the very best job that I can, you know, making sure that I understand everything. So, you know, if you feel like 5 months is enough until we alternate to someone else, I'm fine with that.
Now, Madam Mayor, before we ultimately decide, I know there are some folks here, if they wanted to come up for briefly just to introduce themselves and let you know why they're interested. Can we take time to do that?
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that. And, you know, you had about a 15-minute conversation with
Each of them.
So we're probably going to, yeah.
Right, there are two. There was one person that I wasn't aware that was interested in the BPAC, and I apologize to Sherry about that, but there was one person who may be here, I'm not sure, that I just left a couple voicemails, and she had called me back as well, so.
Okay, yes, if you want to call them up, that's fine.
Okay, sure. All right. Mr. Don Vito, Vince?
Hi, Madam Mayor, Commission. I'm Vince Donvito. I'm a new resident of Daytona Beach Shores. I love it here. I am a vice president of Oceans 2 Homeowners Association and always happy and willing to serve our lovely city. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Donvito, we were speaking earlier. You had mentioned, I'm not going to say the reason why, but you had mentioned that you may not be available for an April or a May meeting, and so the next, basically the BPAC meetings meet the second Wednesday of each month at 2 p.m. So the next meeting would be Wednesday, April 9th at 2 p.m. And again, the May meeting would be the second Wednesday. Okay. And then
I'm sorry, Chris, are we going for Citizens Academy or?
this is both, and so and I'm just explaining, because he had mentioned that he may not be able to participate in a meeting in the next month or two, but, so the Citizens Advisory Committee meets on the third Tuesday of the month, so the next meeting would be, let's see, I think it's the 15th. Sherry, you don't have a calendar with you by any chance, do you? Actually, it's the third Tuesday of the month.
The third Tuesday is the 17th.
17th.
Third Tuesday, 15th, tax day.
So I didn't know if that's gonna,
I would be able to do the April date, but unlikely.
the May, okay, all right.
Sometimes people need hip surgery, you know.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. And we discussed alternates too, as about, okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you for
Thank you,
your
Mr. Donvito. Appreciate it. Thank you. And, Karen Bullard.
Hello. I've been in the Shores for 10 years, lived in 2 different condos, beachside. I'm Eric's mom. My son works at Publix, and everybody just knows me as Eric's mom. So, but I'm interested in either. The CIC seemed to have a little broader scope, so I was a little more interested that way. And I think the idea about the alternate, I'm glad to hear that if I were picked as an alternate, I would still be interested in going and attending the other meetings, like you said, to get a little bit more acclimated to what they're doing and all. So it's probably good if alternates could do that, to be up to speed. So it's their turn to go in, they know what's going on.
Sure.
So I think that's going to be I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Carol Sutherland.
And you swiped everyone from the Citizens Academy, I see here, Chris.
Good evening, everyone, ma'am.
Okay, can you talk right into the mic so everyone can hear you?
Yes, my name, I'm nervous.
That's okay, no, it's fine.
My name is Carol Sutherland. I'm a full-time resident at Ocean 2. I've been living here a year and a half. And you asked for volunteer, and I'm volunteering, willing, and able to assist in whatever committee I'm put on, whether it be the primary person or the alternate person, no problem.
Thank you for your interest.
And you were in the Citizens Academy as well, correct?
Yes, yes. All 3 of these were.
Okay, excellent. Yep. Excellent. Carrie Fields.
Hi, I'm Carrie Fields. I have been in Daytona Beach Shores since 2023. Can't even say how much I love it. I live in a house about half a mile north of here. So things of pedestrian and biking, that sort of is very pertinent to me because my house is right on the sidewalk. But also the TPO committee would also be of interest to me. So if there's room, I'd love to serve. And if not, I will look for another position to continue to serve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Now, the next person is the person I was not able to make contact with, but tried. Susan Zonisser. Susan Zonisser?
Susan and Joe are usually here, and they're not here tonight.
All right. And then Sherry had indicated there was a person interested in the BPAC, and that would be Maggie McCollop.
Hello, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. My name is Maggie McCallop. I'm very interested in biking and pedestrian activities, And I would love to do anything that I could to help Daytona Beach Shores. It's a great community, and it would be an honor to represent this great community in county activities such as that. And I live in Cloverleaf North, and I help out the board by being in charge of Zoom for the meetings.
Thank you, Maggie.
Oh, actually, Ms. McCullough, now I had a chance to speak to the other folks, and so the meetings currently take place in the airline room at the Daytona Beach Airport.
Yes.
And now, we did get word that they are renovating a building. They may move at some point.
Okay.
I don't know how soon that's going to be, but it would be on, I think, LPGA Boulevard and Williamson. So again, I don't know if the TPO would move there. I would imagine it would, or the BPAC or the CAC. But would you be able to attend those meetings as well if they did move?
I would.
Okay, perfect.
Good question. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us at all?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, so Chris, based on that, I mean, everybody just seemed so, I love that they love Daytona Beach Shores. I think anyone that we would put on there would be able to do a wonderful job. So, with that being said, you had a little bit more detailed conversation, and we'll just do it. Do you just still want to stay with the 5 month?
I would, just because I want everybody to have an opportunity to do this, and then they can actually switch to the other one as well. And again, it actually kind of solidifies that decision, the fact that they can actually attend and even participate but not vote. So you can get acclimated while you're doing that, while the primary is actually voting. So I would prefer that if we did it every 6 months. But again, I'll do whatever the commission wants to do. We can do a motion.
Okay, it sounds like the majority wants to do that, so I'm fine with that. Do we need a motion or just okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, first of all, though, we need a motion to select someone.
Correct.
So select your first 2 permanents and your alternates.
Okay. So I would move to select Carrie Fields for the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and also move to select Maggie McCallop as the alternate, the first alternate for the Bicycle Pedestrian.
Excuse me,
Advisory Committee. Yes.
can we just do the
Separate.
Citizens Academy first?
Sure. Oh, the Citizens Academy first?
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, that's the one that we're on first. So we're on item C.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so going to the Citizens Advisory Committee, who would you like on that?
I would move that we appoint Karen Bullard as the primary on the Citizens Academy, or Citizens Advisory Committee.
Okay, and who did you want as the alternate?
Vince Donvito.
Okay,
Make
now-
a motion.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I think he'd be great. Remember again, though, that he wouldn't be able, he'd miss a couple. Would it just be?
So he would be the alternate, so he will, yes,
Okay.
that's why, yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, Sherry, can you take the vote, please?
Now, actually, Madam Mayor, do we also, I was going to do the second alternate for the CAC, and I'm sorry to do this.
No, that's okay. So they're allowing you to do a second alternate?
Yes, so Carol Sutherland.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. So we're going to have a meeting in April, so Karen would go to April, May, June, August and September, and then Vince would go to the next, so he would do October, November, January, February, March as the first lead, and then Carol would move up for those same
Correct.
months. Okay. And do you want to do, are you trying to get everybody on here?
I am.
Okay, who do you have after
And
Carol?
Actually, no, that's just initially for the CAC, so that's fine. We can stop right there for that.
So I'll second it as amended.
Okay, go ahead, Sherry. that passed 4-0. Okay, next we're going to go on to the appointment of a member and alternate to the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Board, and who do you have for that, Chris?
I would make a motion that we appoint Carrie Fields as the primary. And then move that we appoint Maggie McCallop as the first alternate.
Okay, and then you have a third on that one as well?
I do, and again, I was not able to speak to her, but again, she called several times, and we just played phone tag. So I would move to appoint Susan Zonisser.
I don't see her down for the bike one.
She wasn't, so she doesn't want to accept it, she doesn't have to, so, but that's what I would put. She did, I think, express an interest in the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Only the citizens,
Only the
not
citizens, not the bicycle.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to put her in the motion or not, or do you just want to do Carrie and Maggie?
We can do Carrie and Maggie, and if she expresses an interest in that, we can always bring it up at some other time.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion, and do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion on anything? If not, do you have something else?
Well, actually, I'm looking at my notes, and if I can throw a monkey wrench into this. I know Karen Bullard had expressed an interest in either. So one thing we can do is we can put Susan Zonisser as a second alternate for the Citizens Advisory Committee, and then Karen Bullard. Yeah, let's just leave it the way it is. That's fine.
We'd have to go back, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would. Let's just leave it the way it is. And then if I actually get to speak with Ms. Zonisser, we can just readdress her.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second and no discussion, so we're ready to vote? Okay, and that passed 4-0. Okay, next we're going to go on to city. Oh, congratulations to everyone. I know you'll make Daytona Beach Shores very proud. Again, thank you very much for your interest in wanting to help us and volunteer for committees. And again, for those of you, and I think it was most of you that were on the, attended the Citizen Academy, thank you very much. Okay, next we'll go on to city attorney's report. Do you have anything for it?
No, nothing.
Thank you. City manager?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Just would like to remind the public that on April 3rd at 6 p.m. and April 4th at 10 a.m., we'll be doing visiting sessions with the public upstairs, the second floor. So I would love to see all of you there. We did this a few weeks ago with the commission. I'll kind of give the public an overview of what the commission gave us as tentative direction. But we're looking for your feedback on where you would like to see the city go. The 3rd and the 4th, though, I will say, are not going to be about Parks and Rec programs, because on April 15th and 16th, so April 15th at 6 p.m. and April 16th at 10 a.m., we're going to be focusing with our master park plan consultant on what we would like to do with our Parks and Rec programs. So I'd love to see all of the public come out and attend those and give us feedback and their thoughts on how we move our city forward. And that's it, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, any questions for our city attorney, city manager? Okay, if not, we'll go on to commission comments. Commissioner Card, what do you have for us?
On the 13th and the 20th of March, I attended the Citizens Academy. I see a few of the people in here. It was a great class. I thought, from what I understand, we're getting more and more people involved in that. And from what I understand also, the chief is going to be taking a taser on the next round. If that's going to happen, we don't know, but we're encouraging it. But.
Given one to one of the committee.
Also, on March 24th, I know the rest of the commission knows about the sewer department, so I did spend the day with the sewer department. and I learned quite a bit with them. That was a great experience. We're gonna be spending $30 million in the city, so I wanna know where we're gonna be spending the money, what's the reasoning and so on, so it's quite eye-opener. That's Sherry's son is the one who is running that division, and it's well-run. And the last thing, I stopped by for the economic development, I stopped by Luna's Restaurant, brand-new business that just opened up. I thought the food was wonderful, it was a nice, clean atmosphere, so that's a new building. That's in Pappas Plaza, is that where?
Fiona.
Okay, so that's it. That's all I
Okay.
have.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
I have no comment.
Okay, great. Mr. Economist?
Actually, I think I'm going to be out of town at our next meeting, and I was wondering if I could be excused for that.
Yes. Yes, is that May 6th? Or are you talking about the workshop? I'm sorry.
No,
What's the date? Is it the, so we'll have the workshop on the 22nd, is that correct?
Yes.
Second, are you talking about that one or the May 6th?
No, May 6th. May 6th.
Okay, but you'll be able to be here on the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, yes, and you can, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Go over some of these things, and I'm going to go over the dates that the city manager talked about again. Tomorrow, we're having coffee with the mayor. It'll be at 10 a.m. upstairs in the community room. Again, please mark your notes. We want to hear from you on the visioning sessions. They will be April 3rd from 6 to 8, April 4th from 10 to noon. The Parks and Recs master planning will be April 15th from 6 to 8, April 16th, 10 to noon. And I do want to talk about, as you probably know, all of us belong to the Volusia League of Cities. I'm the president this year, and my priority is small businesses. I think small businesses are the backbone of our community. So we did something that was around that whole thing there. So what we did, we asked every city to bring one of their businesses, one of their small businesses, and to explain what they do and then how they partner with the cities. And I was proud to have Kevin and Diana Spurrecker from Cracked Egg. So they came and explained everything that they do, the partnership with the cities. And we had a couple of different people from different areas, but one of the ones that the Commissioner Economos and his wife Stacy and I were very excited about, one of my favorite fast foods, besides Chick-fil-A, is Zaxby's. And there's going to be a Zaxby's coming to South Daytona. I think, is it her third store? Fourth store. So she has so many in the area, she's committed. So it was great just to see how it was partnering between their economic development manager was able to get them in there. And I know a lot of you are going to say, why can't we have that? And I'm going to use one word, but I'm going to say it 3 times, traffic, traffic, traffic. So they do traffic studies to see how many cars go by. But anyway, I was very, very happy that we did focus on the small businesses. The last thing I want to tell you, or a couple more things, Friday night concert will be Robert Hartland. That'll be April 25th from 6:30 to 8:30. And our Community Service Director, Nancy Maddox, got a real find for our Armed Forces Day. That's on May 17th. Nancy, can you tell us who we're going to have that day? I think it's so exciting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We're having Colonel Shannon DeSilvia. She is the Colonel for Space Force at Calgary Air Force Base. And we'll also have the Army 3rd Infantry Band Quintet. So, very exciting.
Okay, thank you. And we don't want to say about the food because they'll come out at now. We will be having food afterwards, but only if you come for the concert first. Okay, thank you, Nancy, for doing that. But anyway, that was a real find. I have to thank Nancy for the past 3 or 4 years. We've had some wonderful guest speakers. So, and we talked a little bit about, or a lot about, the Citizens Academy. This time we had a wait list. We will be doing it again. So get your applications in early as soon as Nancy announces it. But it was a wonderful time. Okay, next we're on to audience comments. I don't have any forms or any speakers here, so is there any, as I always do, I open it up. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about before we move on? If not, I think we have some items for the next agenda. Remember, we are going to have a workshop, did we say starting at 11:30 on April 22nd? And that will be open to the public.
Because in that motion, we said to have the second reading of the ordinance, we'll start a regular meeting or special called meeting at 11:30. And as soon as that meeting is done, we'll just proceed into the workshop.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Any other items for the agenda?
And for that meeting, can we put on an agenda item to appoint a city commissioner for the vacancy?
Yes, we can.
So noted.
Yeah, please put that on there, Sherry, as well. Okay, any other items you wanted? Okay, if not.